What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the Engineers That Filters podcast, episode 69.
Woot woot.
It's about to get funky. I'm your host, Jacob Thompson, and tonight I'm drinking the best flavor of Bud Light Seltzer, which is the Black Cherry. Now, I gotta take you down a trip down memory lane, okay? Back when I was a wee lad, little Jacob, cherry was his least favorite artificial flavor. I don't like the actual cherries themselves. I'm not a cherry fan. But to my surprise, cherry has quickly become my favorite seltzer flavor across the board. It's just always good. I don't know how they do it, but I like it a lot. I think it's consistently the number one flavor in any flavor pack.
It is kind of hard to screw up a black cherry seltzer, in my opinion. The lemon limes and like the limes, you can screw those up.
Oh yeah,
but black
strawberry's
cherries,
always bad.
See, I just really want to like strawberry, so I think I like impose that when I'm like drinking.
That
I'm
bias.
Just like, I'm just like I want to like this, so I'm gonna will myself to like this.
Yeah.
I think the issue is they don't have enough of the tartness of strawberries when they use it for a flavor in seltzer. It's always the sweet part, and not because they're a little tart. Most fruits are, and they don't take that into consideration when they make the seltzies.
I would agree. I would definitely agree.
So speaking of seltzers, I'm Joseph, and I'm drinking Vizzy hard seltzer.
Ooh.
The black cherry lime. Vizzy is brewed by Molson Coors. So it's their answer to the Great Seltzer War.
The race to the top.
Definitely not any other big issues in 2020. Just the seltzer thing.
No, it's the big seltzer war. That's all anyone's gonna remember.
Yep.
Yeah.
With White Claw at the bottom.
No.
But honestly, this is pretty damn good. Like, I would definitely put it above Bud Light. And like knocking on like a craft like Bauhaus. Like, honestly,
You need to try
it.
press, Joseph.
I do. But this is 5%, 1 gram of sugar, and so I had it earlier today, but the second flavor I'll be drinking tonight is pineapple mango, and I gotta tell you, this is my favorite of all time right here.
I've had a pineapple mango flavor from like the Aldi brand actually, and it was really good.
Dude,
and that's coming from an Aldi brand. So like a lot of the times like the Aldi brand seltzers, like the hard seltzers, just like they're not very good. The lime one tastes like ass, but the pineapple mango one really pulls through.
Yeah, I had it earlier today, sitting out on our patio in the sunshine. Man, that was refreshing. Tell you what.
Izzy is coming up.
Well, I'm Gabe, and I'm drinking the Able Brewery. It's like down the road from us. It's called the Propper's Pub Ale. It is definitely out of my comfort zone. The guy recommended it, and I was like, you know what? I've been having a lot of IPAs for like a year and a half now. And I regret changing it up. I should stick to my guns. It's honestly all right. It's a pub ale.
It's an English style ale.
Okay, so yeah,
it's decent. It's a lot more like rich, I guess. Like
what color is it?
Probably like golden.
It's in a can.
It's probably golden.
I'm just curious if it's like a brown or like a.
Oh, it's definitely a darker brown. Like it's like
it's like a
dessert beer, but I got the crowler, so.
I like the can design.
I do too.
I will say that.
Just says Able.
Very minimalistic.
Yeah.
It's my soft spot.
Right.
Yep. And I am Dayton, and this week I am actually drinking a beer. I mistakenly ended up with a few more calories left in my allotment for the day. I ended up with 300 calories left by the time the podcast started versus 100, which usually only buys me one seltzer. So I am treating myself to a nice pint of Bruno, the baby beer cat, and it is by the Fat Orange Cat Brewing Company. I've
Okay.
had 2 of these, except I think I had them like last month or something like that, and it's a really good beer. I
Can I
haven't.
see the cat on the can? I'm very curious.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that is
So
ugly as fuck. Oh my god.
yeah, it's like
Wow.
the
Is it?
stereotypical like ugly ass cat.
Did the beer cans on the beer cans say Fat Orange and Cat? Oh, Fat Orange Cat. All right.
Yeah, it's
Same
Fat
thing.
Orange Cat Brewing Company.
Oh, okay.
It
Yeah,
looks like the cat from that video that went viral
Grumpy
like a few
Cat.
months ago.
Grumpy Cat.
No, like the guy who's like, "Mom, there's something outside." Oh, what is that? It's a cat. It's like this fucking ugly cat.
I don't
I
think I saw
remember what
that.
you're
Pretty
talking
popular
about,
cats.
but I don't remember I don't remember what the cat looked like. But
I
I
wish I could
remember
remember what the video was called, but it was like some guy like, "Mom." It was like 3 of them, and it was
Yeah,
like
like,
this
what
thing
the
like,
fuck is that? Is that a cat?
There's too many viral cats, man.
I know,
That's
all the way
true.
back in the early days of the internet with like Piano Cat and Lols. I don't
Dude,
know.
I totally
Long
forgot
Cat.
about Piano Cat.
Long cat.
And then there's
I would,
the shop with like the I'm a fire in my laser with Long
Oh
Cat.
yeah.
oh, my laser dude. Oh, dude,
Yeah.
that was funny as hell. And then they put those in Picto chats. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Oh my
God,
god.
Picto Chat, holy shit.
Dude,
That was
the,
fun for
Fucking
about
love
2 seconds.
No, Picto chat on bus rides was so fucking
dude,
fun.
Picto Chat and airplanes. That was the
Dude,
move.
Ooh.
why are you playing Picto Chat being playing Mario Kart DS with remote play?
Dude, I remember in like 5th grade, we were taking a field trip to like Ohio. I don't know why. Ohio sucks. We were driving down and
Quick
everyone
plug.
got
Ohio sucks.
we got to the point where our Picto chat room got full, which was like 10 people, I think, 10 or
Hmm.
20. So there's like 2 chats going on, and someone drew like a dick. And I remember like a parent going like, "Who drew the dick?" Like she got up and like started accusing it, and she like single-handedly shut down the Picto chat rooms. She's like, "You can't be on here anymore," and then we switched to Mario Kart.
Say Mario Kart.
Dude,
This is
like
great.
That
looking,
fucking Karen, one dick ruined the whole Picto chat room
Yep.
for the whole trip.
dude, like just imagine like thinking to like if you're a parent right now, like if you were to be a parent like right now, how like what kind of person, like what kind of like our peers would be like that?
Oh,
Like would
okay. I see what you're
That
asking.
controlling
yeah,
type
like
thing.
to me that is like so whack. Like
Yeah, I
like
don't-
if I were like the chaperone on that trip, I'd just be like, dude, this kid just drew a fucking dick. Like that's hilarious.
Dude, I would definitely be that dad that would like giggle like in the background.
I would have no self-restraint with that. I would just be like, I would like whisper to some kid. I'd just be like, "Yo, draw a pair of tits."
Yeah. Like, here, let me show you a picture of mom.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
No,
God.
Gabe,
Too far,
no.
Gabe. Wait, was that an
You can't
incest
all
comment?
jump on it.
Was that an
Huh?
incest comment?
No.
I don't know, dude. I think that might tie
It
into our
definitely
topic
could.
for episode 69.
Oh, what a segue. I did it on
Oh.
purpose, ladies and
Well,
gentlemen.
before we get into that, I gotta remind you, as always, to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at EWF Podcast. You can follow us on Twitch at EWF_podcast. We're live right now. If you want to come watch the show get recorded early, we're on Thursday nights around 7 p.m. Central Time. So come do that. And then you can find our show every Monday on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, and Google Play. All right. It's episode 69. We all know what that means.
It's the
Sex
sex number. It's the fucking sex number.
Best
Dayton.
number ever.
Kick us off here.
All right. So, we're gonna be talking about weird sexual fetishes.
Specifically, Joseph's weird sexual
Yep.
fetishes, right?
Yep.
My
Except
God,
this is
the plan.
this is gonna be a
You
5-part
just saying it to
episode.
him gives me anxiety, and it's not even me. We're growing here, dude.
It involves a lot of blueberries. Is all I'm gonna say.
What would that be called? Like, what's the scientific name for a blueberry? Do you know,
Like, you
Joseph?
want the like Latin name
Like
of
the
the
Latin,
plant?
yeah.
The
Yeah,
genus and the,
I'm trying to think if we could like make
species.
it like a
Well,
All right, I'm gonna Google it.
What's
What if I
the
Google it
suffix that's
first?
always on like
philiac. or philia.
Oh yeah. Yep, that's what we want.
Yep.
So something blue philiac.
Blue philia.
So to be clear, we're not talking about our own fetishes because that'd
yeah,
be
yeah. We're not talking
not
about our own fetishes.
not great for our privacy.
We're talking about just weird sexual fetishes, or I guess maybe people.
Blueberries are usually prostate shrubs. Sorry, I just wanted to read that. It's on Wikipedia.
Wait. Prostate shrubs?
I totally misread that. It's
Read it.
prostate.
Oh my! You fucking idiot.
What?
I had too excited. Like, it totally works.
Gabe, you really saw what you wanted.
I really did. I was like, this is fucking hilarious.
The scientific name of the high bush blueberry, which is mostly what we grow, is the Vaccinium corium bosom.
That sounds like bosom.
Bosom.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go with Vacciliac then.
Yeah.
Vacciliac.
Ooh, that makes
Higher
it sound
class
like
of
that you get like
classification. Vaccinium.
Into
you have like
vaccines.
you have like a kink for
Yeah,
vaccines, which I mean is very possible. So then you have the anti-vaxxers, and then you have the vacphiliacs.
Right.
Vacciliacs. Ooh, baby. Pump me up with those vaccines.
Every single one I can get. That would not be healthy if you had too many at once. Your body would probably shut down.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's what
at
she
once,
said.
but, like, to be vaccinated in general, it's not a bad thing.
That's what you think, Joseph.
Dana, then you want to start the conversation off with in particular?
Yeah, so I know that we've talked about it a little bit, maybe just like off the podcast. But I remember like I don't know how many years ago, but like H3H3 did a video on, I think it was like a TLC episode where like a guy
Strange addiction.
Oh yeah, Strange Addictions or something like that. And the guy like marries his car or something like that, or is like his girlfriend is his car, and
Yeah.
he like gets underneath the car and is like making out with like the hood, and I'm pretty sure he does something with like the mufflers, and
Yeah.
They
and
hint
Yeah.
at it.
It's an orifice, right?
Yeah,
and,
like
I
they
just-
hint at it, and
maybe
he hints at it a little too much.
yeah, and like I just remember watching that, and I think that was like the first time that I've actually been like what the fuck when it comes to like fetishes, because like the common like I'll call them like just like the normal fetishes that like you hear about, right? Like foot fetishes up there. Like I feel like that one's like it's got a lot of like publicity behind it. Like where if someone has a foot fetish, like I'm just like, okay, whatever. Like you're too fucking normal, okay? We're talking about the weird shit. And I think that's the first one that I came across that I was really like, dude, like what the fuck? Like
Yeah.
And then the dad was actually like super like accepting of it. He's just like, yeah, dude, like this is my son's girlfriend. And I would have such a hard time with that.
He's probably accepting of the money he's getting paid to be on that TV show.
That's probably true. That's probably
Or
true.
he doesn't
as
want
well.
to come off as like a shitty dad. Like how do you handle that situation like gracefully? Either way, you're gonna look like a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah.
Either like, oh, it's totally fine. He fucks his car's muffler, or it can be like, or he can, be like, nah, that's not my kid. Like,
Yeah. Just
Well,
disown them.
It was recent enough that like, hardcore internet culture was around, so like people could have easily found him and like doxed him or like been really shitty to him if he was like shitty to his kid. So I wonder if he was like aware of that and like,
I don't know, dude. This guy was old. This guy was old. I don't think he had that as money on his mind. I think he had money on his mind.
That could be.
Bars.
And to be clear, like we're not trying to like kink shame anybody. If you're both consenting and you're not hurting anybody, I don't give a fuck.
I don't think
what
the
you
car
do.
consented.
He's not hurting anybody.
All right. So this is a philosophical question here. Is the for inanimate objects, is the lack of consent? Because with animate objects, lack of consent does not equal consent.
Even lack of non.
They're inanimate. They don't have.
Yeah, they don't
It
have
doesn't
feel-
matter.
They can't feel bad or good about it.
That's like, if you had like a pocket pussy, you need to consent from that every time you use it. Like it
Maybe
doesn't
Maybe
matter.
you do.
Maybe. That's the question, Jacob. I'm
Just
asking
If it-
you.
a
if it-
magic 8 ball next to your bed.
What if it's got AI? What if the pocket pussy has AI?
That is true.
That's your fault for buying it.
That just brings up the whole thing of like sex robots. Then, like,
Yeah, well, I don't want to get into
predicting-
sex robot. That's a whole fucking.
Oh, it's too
Oh, I
late.
think we
discussion.
found Jacob's fetish.
He's got one on pre-order already.
I want to talk about the plane lady, which
plane lady.
Yeah, maybe you remember this, but like Joseph and Dayton didn't remember what I was talking about earlier. But like, there's this woman who fell in love with this one specific plane. It's not like a model of plane. It's not like a brand. It's like or an airline. It's this one specific plane. I don't remember the story of how she like, quote unquote, fell in love with it, but she like flew in it, at some point, and she fell in love with the plane during the flight. And I think she's talking about like London or something. And now she like is obsessed with it. She has like scale models of it in her apartment. She works with like the local airport to go and visit it in the hangar whenever like it's home. And like the people at the airport like know her now. And they're cool with it. She's not like damaging the plane. Like, but they just let her in the hangar alone with the plane. She like strokes it and shit. It's like, okay, like if that's your bag, but it's like it's
You know what,
so.
now that you're talking about it more, I think I have like a vague memory of this.
It's a very inconvenient thing to fall in love with. You know what I mean?
So I guess my question is, was she more interested in like that particular plane or that model of plane?
No, it's that specific plane. Like she's in love with the specific one. Like she only goes and sees that one when it's like home in the
Did it
hangar.
like save
Home.
her life or
No,
something?
I don't think there's any like
Probably
it
just
like
did
took
drugs
it.
during it and like.
She just like was on the plane and
flight.
fell in love with it, and that's all there is to it. And I know it's a specific one. It's not like if she flew in another plane the same model, she'd feel the same way. It's like no, she's committed to this one specific plane, and
Wow.
I think she like flies in it whenever she can, which that's an expensive relationship.
It's
Plane
awfully
tickets aren't always
one-sided
cheap.
too.
I was gonna say it's a
That's the-
one-sided.
Can you call it a relationship?
She
Mm.
does,
I don't know. It's
and
like
again, it's not hurting anybody. It's if the airport's okay with it. I mean,
I
they're
guess
It's
letting
not
her
like
in to go
she's
see it.
breaking into the airport to.
Exactly. It's not like she's like breaking any laws, right?
What kind of
Breaking the
plane are we
law,
talking? Are we
breaking
talking
the
like a
law.
passenger plane
It's
or
a
like
commercial plane, yeah.
like a 737 style plane? Oh damn!
Yeah.
I was expecting like a one prop like.
Yeah, like
No,
a
it's
Cessna
like
or something like that.
No, it's like a commercial plane, like a Boeing or whatever. I don't know the
Jesus.
exact model, but
Interesting.
And
I think it's
she
more interesting
picked,
that she identified the one and not the model as a whole.
Yeah.
Well, there's that other strange addiction where the lady marries a roller coaster, right? Like, it just, I don't know where the emotional tie comes from. Like the car guy, I remember like watching the video, and he was like, it was his car since he was like 16, right? And he was
Mhm.
older, which I think is weird to begin with, but like, it was just like there's an emotional connection because he's like 16 or whatever, and it's like his first car, and then like the roller coaster, I don't know, you have fun with it, so you like it, but it's like a plane, like I don't know, like what enjoyment do you get out
I
of
know.
flying the plane? I don't get it.
Well, and you bring up an interesting topic, Gabe, where it's like people marrying inanimate objects.
Yeah, she
That-
married a roller coaster.
That doesn't make any sense to me. What priest is ordaining this ceremony? Does she get tax benefits for
Hey,
this?
dude, I feel like
Dennis-
that's what it has to be. It has to be a tax thing.
Dennis Rodman married himself. I think someone could marry a plane if they wanted to.
I should marry an inanimate object for the tax benefits.
Marry
But-
your
But
computer.
I just don't understand. People say they're marrying something like an inanimate object. Are they legit, like legally marrying that? Like
I think so.
I feel like it's a state law, right? Like I don't think it can be a national.
maybe, yeah.
But then
I
you
just
still
don't
get like
understand.
state.
So, like she has to
tax
wait till the
benefits.
plane lands in a state she can marry it or something.
Next time you fly to Vegas, we're gonna tie the knot.
Right.
Fly it into it. It'll be a drive-through marriage. It'll be like held up with like hot air balloons or something like that.
There we
But,
go.
I mean, the plane though, it seems like a very destructive relationship because like she only gets to see it every few months, I'm pretty sure. And like I said, her entire apartment is like almost kind of like a shrine to this plane. She has like a plane body pillow, I think, and like like I said, like models and shit. And it's like
Dude, I'm curious.
it's
like,
interesting, very
like,
interesting.
Is it
if she-
weird that I'm more okay with the car than the plane?
Because at least he owns the car.
Yeah,
Well,
like he
Yeah.
gets to see the car like every day, and like
Whenever
he
he wants
drives
to.
it, and like it's his car.
And he
Like,
doesn't
He's
need
the
permission to
emotional
see it.
connection to it, you know? Like, I don't know.
Hmm.
Yeah, the fact the plane belongs to somebody else though is really interesting too.
Yeah. I'm curious as to like if she loves it so much, why doesn't she just become like a flight attendant for that particular plane?
Maybe I remember they're saying what her occupation is. I can't remember what it was. Look up the YouTube video if you're interested.
Not flight attendant, apparently.
If you
As a
have
listener.
if you have some time to kill.
It's like a 9-minute YouTube. It's like it was on some episode of something.
Dude, everyone's got time to kill right now.
Yeah, that is true.
Dude, speaking of time to kill, this is off topic, but I was telling Dayton earlier. Yesterday, I went down a rabbit hole of watching this YouTube channel solve Sudoku puzzles, and it was so relaxing. Like I cannot express to you how much enjoyment it gave me. It was so weird because I mean I love Sudoku, but this dude was solving this puzzle that was like it only had 4 starting digits. And he's like, how the fuck am I supposed to solve this, right? But there's other constraints, like the diagonals also had to be 1 through 9, and the middle box had to be a magic square.
Okay.
And then he's like watching him figure it out, and then you're like watching with him, like, oh yeah, like that, you know. And then like the way it's it was just it's very very satisfying. I don't know. I watched
It
Sudoku
takes
videos
all
like
the
2
hard
hours.
work. It takes all the hard work out of doing a Sudoku puzzle.
Exactly, and they're not like traditional Sudoku, like they're weird Sudoku with like weird rules, you know. It was fun. If you're interested, look up. It's called Cracking the Cryptic is the YouTube channel.
I was gonna say, like, why would you watch someone play Sudoku when you could do it yourself? And I realized that's the whole argument behind like YouTubers in general.
Yeah, why play video games when you can just watch people stream on
Exactly.
Twitch?
We got a question from a viewer. It says the question should be: is she having intercourse with the plane?
So yeah,
No.
I think from
But also-
I think
How
hang
would
on a
she
second,
do
hang on a
that?
second here. I think from the mechanical perspective of how both engines work, I think that it's pretty unlikely that she's having, and I mean the difference between male and female body
It's
parts,
very-
of
yeah.
course. But like, so
See, there's
there's
no,
the
like, exhaust,
tailpipe.
like,
There's the
yeah.
tailpipe with with the car. But I'm guessing that this is a jet engine. So the exhaust just goes out the back of the jet engine. So it doesn't
it's
really
just
have an
those
exhaust.
wing
And
engines.
how would that work? Like,
It's not if I remember correctly,
Unless
it's not a sexual relationship. She's
so
not
she's
have a
so she's asexually attracted to this
Okay.
plane.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, she like will like I said, rub it and stuff, but she's not like trying to bang it. She's just very emotionally connected to this plane, and she's in love with it.
Interesting. Okay.
But also, it goes back to how do you define intercourse? You know, like that's a whole other
Well,
topic.
intercourse is very clearly defined.
Okay.
Just look at the
Well, I mean-
prefix.
Yeah, like there is a definition
Well,
for
if
it.
we're going by that, then she's not insert anything from the plane into her vagina, if I remember correctly. She's just
Okay.
in love
Well,
with it.
that's
It's a
I
very
feel like there's-
PG relationship.
I feel like there's got to be some sort of plane or like plane pun or aeronautics pun or something like that. But
If you have a good plane pun, put it
Well,
in
if
the
it's
comments.
aluminum, right, you just get a suction cup dildo and slap it on there.
just put like 20 of them on all over the plane. Take your rounds, dude.
All right, I think we just found the Instagram
Oh,
post for
God.
this. It's gonna be a plane with just dildos suction
I feel like
cupped
the
all over
Instagram
it.
algorithm's gonna murder that picture.
No, we just gotta pixelate them. Pixelate the dildos, and then it'll be fine, right?
That'd actually be
I'm
really
not on
funny.
Instagram this
That'd be
week.
really funny. Just censor everything out.
Minecraft dildos for sure.
Minecraft.
I can't think of any other like super weird fetishes. Do you have any other ones, Dayton?
Yeah, I have an entire list.
Shit.
I did a little bit of research going into this because I hadn't, well, actually I don't think I knew of any of these prior to doing my research, and I think one of the ones that I found most fascinating was called hobophilia,
Ugh.
and it's
I
just
don't like where this is going.
I don't like it either.
It is exactly what it sounds like. Where they
Oh, no.
where they're sexually attracted to homeless people.
No.
That is wrong
See?
on so many levels.
See, why
Like,
is it wrong though? Because I'm about to play devil's advocate here for this.
all right,
Because
well, let me
all
just
right,
start off a few things. All right, and
why
I'm
do you
gonna
get to
off the
start
top.
off?
Fine, you
It is
go.
Dayton's topic.
Go,
Yeah,
go.
I'm talking
Give
about
your argument.
hobophilia.
Give your
See,
argument on homophilia.
see, it might be a quid pro quo situation, except I think it stands to be a net benefit, possibly for both of them if it's a consensual event, because the homeless person probably gets a place to stay for at least one night, and if they're good, multiple nights.
If they're good.
Yeah, like I mean, if they're having a
But
good
then they're
time with
not
them.
homeless, you
No,
know?
no, it's like
No, this.
a weekly occurring thing. I don't
Okay,
know.
okay. Like if they're like, oh, you can stay the week.
Yeah.
It kind of defeats the
Then
whole
it's
point.
then you can physically see like the attraction just wean. You're like,
Yeah.
you're getting too domestic here. Get out of
Yeah,
here.
yeah, talk for a week. Like I just saw you take a shower. I'm sorry, I'm out.
All right, but that's my argument, Jacob. So
Because
what's your
that's
argument?
that. Well, Gabe was just hinting at where I'm coming from. It's like, what is the psychology of this person? Why are they a hobophiliac? It's because they feel like they want to help somebody. Like,
It's
oh,
probably adrenaline.
you need
Mm.
saving. Let me save you. Or is it like I'm better than you, so let me take advantage of you? You know, like it
It's
could be coming
probably
from
a
a very dark
column
place.
A, column B, to be honest.
Yeah, it could be just like a exotic thing where like, oh, I don't know anything about this person. It's
Right.
mysterious, right?
Mm.
But and I'm gonna say right now, I'm making assumptions about homeless people, and I apologize if these are incorrect. But I would assume there is some health concerns happening here. If this
See,
person has been homeless for a long time, you
Definitely
don't
a
know.
higher chance.
dude,
And if
I
depending on
guess
how they got homeless, like became homeless, I mean, you don't know what they're
yeah,
packing.
yeah, but I mean like also that brings up the whole thing of bug chasers.
I was
Yeah,
just gonna say,
that's
isn't
true.
there a fetish for like
Oh,
people who want to get
Mm-hmm.
like
They
STDs
like
see.
like
they
Also,
that?
once health concerns get involved, then I'm out. Like then I'm like, all right, this is not.
all right, dude. Sucking on toes, dude. Like people with foot fetishes, you can get athlete's foot in your mouth, can't you? Like I feel like
Yeah,
you
that's
can.
fucking disgusting. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess if both people are consenting and you're being open about what
Like,
what you
dude,
got in your feet, but it's just like, fuck.
what if someone has some nasty ass athlete's feet, and they get like the really like brittle nails or whatever, and you start
Ugh.
nibbling on them like like it's like fucking like
Dude,
a
I
Oh.
pray to God Gabe never dates a girl with a foot fetish because his feet smell so bad.
Why'd you
Oh,
single me out?
how?
Like, okay,
Because
that's
Gabe,
fine.
whenever you came over and you took your shoes off, I could smell it across the fucking room, dude. Holy shit.
dude, jokes on
Yikes,
all of us.
dude.
Jokes on all of us. Like that smell that was like coming out of Gabe's room wasn't the guinea pigs this entire time. It was his
It's
feet.
my fucking feet.
Yeah.
Gabe's feet smell like a barn.
Oh my god.
Oh,
But yeah, this hobophilia, like I don't know if I just can't imagine it coming from a good place where the homeless person isn't getting taken advantage of in some way.
yeah, I agree that it's a very fine line to walk because like one of the viewers just said, it could be like taking advantage of them, being like, hey, I'll let you stay at my place for tonight if you like if you either let me fuck you or you fuck me, like one of the
Yeah.
two.
You let me do these,
Um,
or yeah, you let me do these things to you.
you let me do
Yeah.
these dirty deeds to you,
Yeah,
done cheap.
that's not all right.
Good
Thank you.
ACDC
So
song right there.
And then like
Oh,
when you're done, you just kick them out in this back out in the street. Like yeah,
and
it's
then you
super shitty.
find him again next month. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
I don't know.
yeah, I agree. That one is like it's one of those just like weird ones where I feel like the motivations are most likely um like power. I
Yeah,
think power
Mhm.
might be one of those things.
yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
I've got one I just thought of actually. Is feeders.
Oh, feeders,
Oh
dude.
yeah.
Like,
Talking about
so
just like
for those who aren't familiar, it's like the idea of someone wants to like just feed somebody to the point where like they can't move or something, or like they're so
ugh.
fat, like
It's
they
like
find it attractive that they can't move, or they're so massive that they struggle to get around.
Mhm.
some Hansel and Gretel shit.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
fucked
Fatting
up.
person up. I remember, well, Boogie whatever.
Yeah, and that's where I heard it from. It's from that YouTube.
He was on the H3 podcast, and he said his girlfriend broke up with him because he lost too much weight.
Mm-hmm.
Like
That's
her
so
whole
fucked
thing was she wanted to keep giving him food and like keep having him gain weight. And
Is that like it's another control thing? Is what it sounds
Yeah.
like.
Yeah, it sounds like a very like control
Yeah.
power related thing.
right, I think there's
Ugh.
like, some weird fucked up thing with like them not being able to do shit on their own. Like they have to rely on the person
Yeah.
feeding them. Right.
Yeah.
Like, super super fucking twisted.
Because that's not even like a sex thing. That's like a relationship dynamic.
Yeah, it's like you
like a
want someone to be
long-term
dependent
play.
on you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's
Yeah,
very
that's-
manipulative.
Oh, ugh. I hate that
Also,
shit.
I feel like it'd be very expensive. Like,
Yeah, but like I mean, if they're that
constantly-
fucked up, I mean,
It's true.
they probably
That's-
don't care.
That's not what they're worried about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No.
Mm-hmm.
When you said feeders, was I thinking about people like getting fed during sex, like the strawberry whipped cream bullshit? I'm like, yeah, it's fine.
See, is that feeding? Is that considered feeding though, or is that just like a?
That's like I
Like-
wouldn't say it's the same thing Gabe was talking about. That's
Yeah,
just like
I feel like that's just kind of like
a
a fun thing. It's like, I don't know, like it tastes good.
Okay,
And it also gets you
what's
to
this
lick places.
bullshit
I
you
don't know. Like,
what's this bullshit you see in movies like the paint shit, where it's
The
like, oh
paint?
yeah,
Or the
let's get
wax?
covered in paint
Are you
and then
talking
fuck
like
on
the
like this.
wax?
I don't know. It's just like you see it in movies sometimes. They get like covered in paint and they fuck on like a giant canvas. Like, yeah, we did that. It's like, all right, that's super.
What?
Like,
What movies are you
Dude, I have no
watching, dude?
I don't know. I
cool.
feel like I've seen that as a trope a couple
Please
times.
tell
That's-
us the movie.
I do.
Shit,
Honestly, I can't think of one, but I feel like I know I've seen shit.
No, I know you. It's
Yeah,
from
doesn't-
fuck. It was
It's like
something we watched together.
What?
I remember it.
Is
Yeah,
it like
All right,
a
all right.
well-known
If
film,
that's the
or is
kind
it
of
like
shit
some
that
small shit.
It's well known.
I think it's played off for like comedy usually.
I don't know,
I don't know.
dude. If
But
that's
it's
the
like-
Was
kind of shit
it
that
an
you and
episode of
Joseph did as
Brooklyn
roommates,
Nine-Nine?
Jacob, I'm
There is a
nervous.
reference
I
in
don't know.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Like they show the canvas where like they had.
Yeah. It's an
Oh
episode
yeah,
of
yeah,
Brooklyn
yeah,
Nine.
yeah.
Because the woman's accused of like stealing all this shit.
Paintings.
Chicken
Yeah, yeah.
Latex or whatever is the one who stole it. Right?
Yeah, and they're like, this is where we fucked for 23 hours or some shit on a canvas or
Yeah.
Yeah. And
something
I
like
feel
that.
like I've seen that trope a couple times in movies played as like an absurd thing, but there's probably people who actually do it. And it's like,
Yeah.
again, if you're not hurting anybody and the paint is like, I guess health safe, whatever.
I don't know.
But
I
it's
feel like it'd
still
be the equivalent
weird.
like fucking on a beach, you know? Like
Yeah,
there's just
like
gonna be shit getting
sand
where
everywhere.
places you don't want it to be. You know?
Uh-huh.
It's one of those things that sounds better on paper, for
Right.
lack of a
On
better
canvas.
phrase, on canvas, you know, than in practice.
It's
Yeah.
like a homemade twister mat.
Yeah. There you go.
Instead of dots,
Make
it's
your own
ass prints.
twisters.
Dude, fuck it. I'm gonna make that. I'm gonna start an Etsy page of twister mats with my ass as the dots.
Dude, you know how much work there'd be if they clean up your ass every time you want to change colors? Like
Well,
I
you
would-
do
Dude,
four,
like-
was it 4, 6? It's
actually
6, isn't
you
it?
do like 4 at once. So you do like red and then you like take a shower and then you like change colors.
Wait,
You
were you
gotta- you gotta
thinking you
plan
go
this out.
across and do each row? So like
No,
red,
like-
green, yellow, blue, red, green, yellow,
I'm
blue.
thinking of those paintings where you just like, you know how they like just splash it like, oh, the whole gist is no one can have the same painting.
Yeah.
But like he's just randomly putting his ass on different parts of the canvas and then changing up the color.
Oh, so not like you're not envisioning like a grid, like just
No,
random.
But okay, but Dave, if you made a twister board out of your ass cheeks, you had 2 cheeks, so you have 2 reds next to each other. That doesn't seem to work.
I
think
would,
it
I would
counts
make
as
sure
one.
to. I think I would make sure to smoosh it really well, so then it coalesces into one heart-shaped
Or-
figure.
You do like 1 cheek red, 1 cheek blue,
Oh, there we go.
That's an interesting dynamic.
and then they
Now
mix
we're-
together.
now-
They mix together in the middle, so you have 3 for 1.
Left cheek, right cheek, blue cheek, red cheek. I'm fucking
No.
Dr. Seuss over here. Bars.
Man, it would be fucking hilarious to have a painting like that, like in your living room, and just like don't say anything, like have people over.
But that's the
Pretend
thing
it's
is, like, who
normal.
is that for? It could only be for
Exactly.
you and the person you did it with. If you broke up, what are you supposed to do with that painting?
Dude,
You
that's
know?
why I just do it with myself.
I couldn't bear to like have it in any room, and to have anybody walk in and be like, oh, what's that
that?
from? And it's just like, oh, it's from Etsy, but it's in
It's
reality you
from
know where it's
Etsy.
from, right?
Well, it's like you have your new girlfriend. It's like, oh, what's that? Oh, me and my ex, made that together. Oh, how'd you make it?
Yeah.
We boned.
Dude, or what about this? What about this? You make one and then you plant it in your friend's house.
Oh, you give it to them for Christmas?
Yeah.
Fucking hilarious.
Oh,
Like I make
wow,
it
I really like the texture on
Yeah.
this.
Oh, dude.
All right, Gabe, I think I know what you're getting for Christmas this year.
Even if I got a fake one, I'd fucking hang that shit up just for the theme.
Dayton, if you actually did that, that'd be so fucking funny.
Oh my god, I'd fucking
I'm
lose
not
it.
saying that it won't happen. That's that's all I'm gonna say right now.
I feel like you're just crazy enough to actually do it.
Oh my god.
It's
Fuck,
just
Your
crazy
new
enough to
your new
work.
roommate's gonna hate you though.
Dude, he would probably laugh at it. I think.
He'd
Yeah.
probably help.
He very well might. He very well
He'd
might.
either laugh or leave.
I don't think he would leave. I don't think that's quite weird enough to make him leave.
Yeah, he's got quite the tolerance. I mean, he's hanging out with you, so.
Our
Yeah.
topic next week: what's weird enough to make Dayton's new roommate leave? What else you got on the list there, Dayton?
So this one, I had seen on a CSI episode when I was like super young, and I just
Wait, was it CSI or SVU?
I think CSI.
Okay.
Yeah, it was definitely CSI.
SVU is Law and Order.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
the sexual victims unit, so I feel like there'd be
No,
more higher
no,
chances
this
kind of thing.
wasn't that. This was definitely CSI. But I just remember like even when I was like super young, I remember being like, "Yo, this is whack. Like I'm leaving. Like,
This is whack.
like I am not putting up with this shit." And that
Dane
is
has left the chat.
Dane has left the chat. Yeah. And it is called paraphilic infantilism. And
I don't like where this is going.
it's the fetish of wearing a diaper and slash
Ugh.
pretending to be a baby.
Oh, I've heard of that one actually. Yeah,
So
That's in an episode of Broad City. It's like the first episode.
it's also in an episode of Angie Tribeca.
So, Christmas Office Party with Seth Rogen and the other big comedian.
The other big
TJ
comedian.
Miller's in it too.
I don't
The
know.
character, the guy who plays Kim Jong Un in the interview.
Yeah.
Oh, Randall Park.
Yeah, he like pretends to be one of those type of people, and it's really
That one's played for comedy a lot. Not a lot, but it's played for comedy every once in a while in shows.
Mhm.
See, like I feel like when
Pretty
it's done
easy
for
to do.
comedy, it's pretty funny. Except
It's
when
a
like,
little weird though.
when it's done
But
when
that's
it's
what
done
makes
for
it
like
so funny.
right, but like when it's done like for real or like more realistic in like the CSI show that I was watching, I just remember it being just like super like it is like kind of like my skin crawl because like I feel
Yeah.
like this is another one where like the fetish is like brought on by like something like kind of off, right?
Dark.
I mean that one's a lot easier to tell like where it came from. It's like you want to be taken care of, and maybe your partner wants somebody to take care of, but it's taken to that nth degree, right?
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
the I can't do anything, take care of me shit.
Hmm.
But then also you fuck the baby, like that's where
Yeah.
it like breaks reality for me. It's like I want to act like a baby and then we have sex. It's like okay, that doesn't track for me.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. I don't know. All that I remember from the CSI episode though is that like this guy had like a special room in his house or something like that was like a baby room but like big so that it could like
Yeah.
accommodate for like adults. Like it had like a huge ass crib and like a what is it, a mobile or something like that, or that like the thing above like
Mobile?
the crib. Mobile, yeah. And then I just remember like I think the guy like died or something by like jumping out the window or something like that. And then like they of course they brought the black light in the room and they just found like semen like all over the place. And I just remember like I don't think I was old enough to recognize like what like the black light meant.
Yeah.
Or like what like that light up fluid was, but I was just like, that's probably not good. And
If it's
that's-
hidden, it's not good.
The social cues I'm picking up. not good.
They wouldn't be
That one,
showing it to me if it didn't matter, okay?
yeah. That one I don't have much of a problem with, just because, like, again, if people are consenting and it's not hurting anybody, that's just like high level role playing
Mm-hmm.
to some extent. I mean, obviously it's coming from a very psychologically probably fucked up place,
Mm-hmm.
but
All I'm hearing is that Jacob wears a diaper. That's what I'm getting at.
No, Jacob wants his sex robot that he has on pre-order to wear a diaper.
To wear a diaper. That's what it is.
Yikes.
Maybe that could be the thumbnail.
Dude, you guys gotta watch.
There's so many good ones for this episode.
You guys gotta watch Earl and the Real Girl. I think that's what
That's
it's called.
I fucking watched that when I was a little too young, and I fucking hated it.
Dude, I watched it this summer. It's actually super wholesome. It's about this dude who's kind of like socially isolated.
It's not
Kind of.
Earl. It's something else. It's
Is it?
it's a different name,
Look it up.
but it
It's
is.
Ryan Gosling. Look it up for me, Joseph.
Yeah.
But it's this guy who's like socially isolated but kind of awkward. Doesn't really have a lot of like friends who he talks to. And then he gets a sex doll. He orders one to be not like to have sex with, but to be his girlfriend. And it's a really, really wholesome movie about like the town, like at first being like that's fucking weird, to like supporting him and like helping him like get through this. And spoilers, he ends up like breaking up with the doll and like dating a real person, because it's a sort of like a growth for him. But it's a good movie. I liked it a
It's
lot.
called Lars and the Real
Lars,
Girl.
thank you. Lars and the Real Girl. There's Earl and the Dying Girl. That's a different thing.
Are you sure
Yeah,
not
Ryan-
confusing it with My Name is Earl, which is a TV show about some white trash people? Because that's a
Dude,
good show.
Yeah, there's
That
My
is
Name
a
is Earl.
hilarious
There's
show.
Earl and the Dying Girl, I believe, and then Lars and the Real Girl. So, but yeah, it's good.
You guys seen the movie Her?
No.
I haven't. I want to.
I know what it is, but yeah.
I mean, the premise is like it's in the future, and the guy gets this virtual assistant, and it's Scarlett Johansson. So obviously, he falls in love with her voice.
I don't know how you couldn't.
Right? So he falls in love with this person, and I don't know. It's just really interesting to see like how it's the same situation where he's like kind of lonely, doesn't really talk to a lot of people. He like makes this connection with this like fake thing and like falls in love with it, and they have like virtual sex, I guess, like over the phone or whatever, the earpiece.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end she like leaves because she has to do computer things. It's weird. It's a very odd movie, but like the way that it handles the relationship is just, I don't know. It's interesting and engaging to watch.
Yeah.
While also like seeing how like odd his output is, or like how his outlook is. I mean,
Well, and you could totally see that happening someday, right? If AI gets advanced enough.
right. And there's like he does end up hanging out with some friends in a couple of scenes. He's like, "Oh, I want you to meet my girlfriend," and he like hits a button or whatever, and like she's like, "Hi," and like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?"
If you want to see a really funny sex doll video, look up the YouTube channel Pay Money Wubby. And he orders a sex doll just like to see what the deal is. And it's really fucking funny. The biggest takeaway is he's like, it's so fucking heavy. Like he's like, I don't understand how like a single dude could like deal with it, because like all of like he got like a high end one, like $3,000
Yeah,
something,
dude,
and like
go
all of
big or
like
go
the
home.
bones, like the appendages are like steel rods. So it's just like
Oh.
super fucking heavy. It's a really funny video. You should check it
I
out.
remember reading a Reddit thread. It was some dumbass Reddit as usual, and it had NSFW tag, and it was like a story of this guy getting rid of a sex doll and how how awful it was, because he said, he was lonely, so he's like, "Yeah, fuck it, I'll buy it." And he like had to put it in the bathtub to clean it, and then like when his family would come over, he would have to like find new spots to hide it so that his family wouldn't think he's a fucking degenerate. And then to get rid of it, he chopped it up like a body and threw it in a dumpster.
Yikes!
Like you'd have to, right? You can't just put a body in a dumpster. Like
He was like, I felt like I was, committing murder because it's like,
Oh, because it looks human.
right.
You know?
He was like genuinely worried about like, like a cop being like, "Hey, What are you doing?
But
Dude, can
also,
you-
it's like they investigated a little bit. It's clearly not a person.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
But it's
so
still like
funny.
the embarrassment alone.
Like
Can you
he's
imagine?
like dragging the garbage bags, like a hand falls out. It's like, oh shit, you know.
Exactly.
Oh,
Dude, I'll have to find that and send it to you guys. It's so funny.
Well, I
wild.
know Whitney Cummings. I think she's a comedian.
Yeah, she has a
fitting
stand-up
last name
about
for this episode.
Yeah, very very fitting. Her last special, she got a sex doll made in her image, and like it's got AI, and it like she talks to it and like does jokes with it in her special, and like it was like part of her like routine. Is apparently super fucking creepy. But I follow her on Twitter, and she tweets about it doing like the creepiest shit.
Why does
And,
she
like,
still have it?
because
I
she
guess you
spent a
can't-
lot of money on it.
Well, I guess you can't really get rid of it. Here, have this sex doll of me. You know, like you
Yeah.
can't really pawn
It's
that
like,
off on a friend.
What do you do with it?
Dude, she's not ready to chop it up yet and throw it in.
Yeah.
Right?
But
I feel
she
like the
brought it
inflatable
'cause-
ones are a lot more easy to get rid of.
Yeah. But she brought it on like a podcast, and it was like the Joe Rogan podcast, and he was like, "You need to turn that off. It is staring at me, and I don't like it." Apparently, it's just super unsettling, especially like, I guess seeing it next to her, where it's like one is clearly fake, but like still realistic. It's just
Yeah, I'm
Dude,
sure your
I can't
peripherals really
imagine.
mess with you on that.
Sex dolls gets into such weird territory because I remember hearing a story a while ago about, I think it was in another country, I don't remember which one, but there was like a place you could go and have sex with a sex doll, right?
brothel.
And these guys were just abusing the shit out of them. Like, it's pretty fucked up. It's like, is that what like you want to do with like a real girl? 'Cause if so, that's really messed up,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And like when it's in like commercialized like that, somebody has to clean it every time. And if the guys aren't being like respectful about that, like that's fucked up. And it's just like, I don't know, man. It's just weird.
I mean,
Well, wasn't
Westworld kind
there-
of hits on that.
Was that Dayton?
Westworld kind of hits on that in like the first season, in like the first few
Yeah.
episodes.
Yeah.
There's like
they
a
abuse
there's a
some of the
saloon.
bots.
There's a saloon and like they're all like, or like there's like hosts which are just like robots, and without like saying any spoilers or anything like that, like a few of them are like prostitutes or whatever, and they just get like abused and stuff like that. So
Because like once the person's like, oh, this isn't, you're not a real person.
yep,
I can just like degrade it to like, you know,
treat it as
The
an
lowest
inanimate
level.
object. Yeah.
Yeah. I've got
Well-
one weird last one. Oh, does it go?
Well, I was gonna say back on the like robots thing. I remember reading a story of like they had like a prototype at like E3 or something, or it wasn't probably
like
wasn't E3.
CES. CES on.
Yeah,
Oh,
CES.
yes, yeah.
And like it broke, like people broke it because they were like rough with it and like grabbing it and shit. And it's like, Jesus Christ, people.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
yeah.
a human being.
well, not even that. It's
Savages.
an expensive piece of technology.
Well, and it's not good for the male reputation.
Well, yeah, that
Hey,
too.
hands off the merchandise, all right?
Exactly.
What do you got for me, Gabe?
All right. So this isn't so much something that's like gross. It's just something I can't understand. And like the psychology behind it is fucking
Liking
girls in the fucking simp army. All right, we gotta talk about it. I
Dude,
don't-
Dude, that psychology is so easy to understand. What are you talking about?
No,
It
it
it's
is,
pretty
but
easy,
it
dude.
isn't. Like
Yeah.
these people spend all this money, and again, it's your money. Do what the fuck you want, but like they expect to get results. Like, oh, she'll notice me if I buy her that thing on our Amazon wish list. Like,
But you have to
it's just
imagine
so
how
sad.
depraved these people are.
And
But
that's
all-
what I think what makes it so sad is like
Yeah.
they think that this is going to get them results because they don't know any different, right? They don't know potentially like how to talk like in person. Not that I'm very good at talking to people in person, but like at some degree, like it's
But
just
also,
really
you have
sad.
to imagine some of these girls are taking advantage of it, right? I
Oh,
mean,
Oh, and they absolutely are. And that's
they're
what,
allowing this to happen also, where it's like, if they, yeah, let me make an Amazon wish list of things for people to buy for me. Like that's come on.
Yeah, and it's definitely on both sides, but it's like I just don't understand how someone can spend so much money and like expect I don't know, expect
It's
anything
fucked
out
up.
of it, right?
See,
It's
I'm
really
not
fucked
sure if it's the expectation. Like I don't know if any of them expect to get any results, but I think it's the possibility for results that gets
Like
them.
it's the I don't know.
So you're
It's like-
saying there's a chance.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying, Joseph. Like I know that's a quote from what is that, Dumb and Dumber or something like
I
that?
think so, yeah.
Yeah, but like I think that's kind of what their mentality is. It's like kind of like being a suitor. Like they're like, "Ooh, I'll spend this much money to just have her notice me or something like that." And then once I get noticed, then
It's
then
like a
I'll have
daydream
my
thing.
Yeah.
Like they have something to think about at night. It's like, oh, I made her happy. I don't know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's the same
It's
thing
so
with the sugar
sad.
daddy and the. I guess someone was like, "Oh, I only like you if you buy me things." Like, get the fuck out of here, dude.
Mhm.
Like, I don't know. Like, I just, it's weird when you like mix money with and like financial, I don't know, anything with like relationships and like in sexual relationships. I think.
It's a lot of power dynamics that we've been talking about a lot this episode.
Yeah, which I feel like we just found a theme without trying to.
People like
Is-
being in control and having power over other people. What?
Right?
Or
Yeah.
people like being controlled.
Yeah. Or have
It is
people
a
take
very
care of them.
interesting thing to think about.
Yeah. But yeah, the simp shit is. Yeah, it's fucked up. It's really fucked up. There was a video I watched recently. It was a comedy video. It was like a day in the life of a simp.
Oh, I know exactly what video you're talking
The
about.
Ryan the Leader
Yeah,
video.
it's a good
And
video.
like it's funny, but it's also like this probably happens. Like this is fucked up.
Oh yeah, like the
This
part where
girl
he
is just
gives
being
them
like,
money for her and her boyfriend to go out on a date. It's like,
yeah,
oh, dude.
and
Yikes.
yeah, she's just treating him like absolute dog shit. And then, but he's so defensive of her. It's just like,
See, I feel like that's borderline like being like a cuck though. Where like
I mean, it
it's
is to some. Well,
like
yeah, I
like
guess,
I
yeah.
feel like I feel like there's sometimes an overlap between like simping and being a cuck, but like and like I'm not talking about just like the joke term cuck. Like I'm talking about like the actual like term
Cuckold.
of cuckold. Yeah, where like you're with someone, but then like you get off by like seeing them with other people.
Yeah.
And I feel like that case, it's like although they're not with the other person, they're probably like there's probably some dynamic of that in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, I would agree.
I don't know.
In some cases, for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just an odd one. And again, I think well, we see the power thing, but I also think it's just a lot of like people's like personal beliefs and like they reinforce their beliefs to like views. And when you're alone, or I don't know, I feel like when
Is
you're
it
alone, you go into a small community on the internet, like it really reinforces your ideas like
Mhm.
harder and harder without realizing it. It just kind of snowballs into this effect where it's like, yeah, it's totally normal to send money to this person or to fuck a car because like you're by yourself with your own thoughts. Or you find a community that supports that. And I mean, again, like you were saying before, if it doesn't harm anyone, whatever. But at the same time, like I do think it's a little sad where you see these people spend all this time, effort, and money on something that is going to pay off when they could be putting that elsewhere. But that could also be me projecting on how I would live my life versus how other people choose
Mhm.
it.
Yeah,
you
because I
just you
think
have to
I think
wonder if these people have just like never been like respected in their life, and they don't have their own self-respect. Or it's like what did like society do to you? Like I feel you feel bad. It's like something happened, and I feel like I'm sorry it did. Like
It's like
I don't
they
know.
don't know that they have value themselves, and it's really
Exactly,
sad.
exactly.
It's very sad. And I don't know.
I feel like that's yeah, like I said, a lot of recurring themes tonight when talking about this shit.
I didn't expect to get this deep.
Yeah, it's got,
Yeah.
it's got oddly
Wait.
like wholesome almost.
I don't know
I
how
don't
to call it
know.
wholesome.
All right, all
I
right. So,
don't know
all
that's
right.
where
Can
I'd
can
go.
I
can
feel
we
like this,
just
this is
can
our
we just
podcast in a
recognize?
nutshell. Like we started like goofing around, and then we're like, wait a second, but what's the
Yeah.
just, like
Then
what's the
Let's go a
science?
layer deeper here.
yeah, the
Yeah.
STEM minds kick
Dude.
in. You're like, we gotta find themes.
Dude,
Let's
And-
unpack this.
Dude,
yeah.
can we just
Let's
recognize
unpack
the
this.
fact that I said I didn't expect it to get this deep, and then Gabe said I didn't expect it to be so wholesome.
Ooh, no one
I
said
mean,
anything.
Oh,
I'm just saying there's
That's how deep we are, Dane. They're not even
that's
funny anymore. We're too serious.
we're too serious, and no one even picks up on these funny what is it, the double entendres
entendre.
or
Yeah, these
however the hell
innuendos.
yeah, the
They're very
innuendos.
easy, cheap ones too.
Do you have any,
I'm
any
all
a
about
funny one
easy
to
cheap ones.
finish us up with, Dayton?
You didn't like that one? Did you like that one?
You like that? Yeah.
I'm so proud of that. It was so subtle.
Yeah, I guess I have one more that I want to talk about, and that is spectrophiliacs, who
Ghost
are
shit?
people who are attracted to ghosts.
Interesting.
Which like on there's depending on if you wanted to be inserted into or insert into or do the inserting, there's some funny stuff going on there, right?
Yeah, how do
Like
you fuck a ghost? How's that work?
No, I can understand fucking a ghost. I can't understand a ghost fucking you.
yeah,
Like-
that's
Is the fetish like a ghost absorbing into you type of a deal, or is it like
I think
I
it's
don't-
just like anything. I mean, like it's probably different in every case. But
yeah,
like
So the only canon we can go off here is Ghostbusters, right? And in the film, the one guy does get slimed.
yep.
So like like there is like physical interaction between a ghost and a human according to the 1988
to the scientifically
movie.
accurate
I don't know what
80s
movie
film.
Wait, and hang
But
on
like
a second.
you joke, Gabe, but like these people have to be going off of something. I mean, Ghostbusters very well might be their Bible
It's
for this
entirely
shit.
possible.
Like
Ghostbusters is my Bible, but for different
It's not it's not like 1-800-Jesus or anything like that. It's who are you gonna call? Right?
Yeah.
It's
Dayton,
Ghostbusters.
does this fetish include like demons and like other sort of
I don't know.
spectral
I
or
didn't do that much research to like really dive deep.
I haven't spent a ton of
Kids
time
going
on spectral
It's
affiliates.
going on
Yeah.
Pornhub and searching ghost sex.
Ghost sex.
And seeing if you can get off or not.
No, but I think so I'm just thinking with like ghosts, right? Like so I personally don't believe in ghosts, except from like the ghost shows that I've seen on like TV and stuff like that. You see like ghosts like moving stuff and like moving chairs or shaking chairs or something like that.
Yeah, it's really good editing. I mean,
Yeah,
ghosts.
but like I'm just saying, so like assuming that's real, even though I don't think that's real, assuming that's real, what makes it impossible for a ghost to be able to like jack you off or like jiggle your tits around or slap your ass or something? I don't know.
Jiggle your tits around.
Again,
Like,
Yeah,
sure,
I'm not-
Dayton, sure. But I can't imagine somebody. I can't imagine a female getting fucked by a ghost because they're not gonna feel anything.
Two words.
Neither does the
Ghost
girl with the
cock.
airplane.
But she wasn't having sex with it.
yeah,
That's
that's
true.
like an asexual
I
thing.
guess Philiac does kind of point toward it being sexual.
Ghost cock. All right.
Ghost.
2 words. But Dayton, you were saying like, okay, we often see ghosts in these shows like moving around, shaking shit. How are you supposed to get in one spot? You gotta get a ghost trap situation. Is this like back to Ghostbusters? You gotta
I think
lock
you have
it
to
down
you
in a
have to
location.
seduce it. You have to seduce the ghost, Jacob.
Oh my god.
You create a relationship with the
Yeah.
ghost.
Marry a ghost.
It doesn't have anywhere to be.
See, Jacob, it's the same thing that real life relationships are founded on. You listen to them, you talk with them, you let that relationship grow and nurture.
And then you fuck them.
And then you get fucked by a ghost cock.
Yeah,
That's just
that's
how it
pretty
works.
much how it goes. That's all there is to it.
God damn.
And that's relationship summed up in 5 different steps.
I couldn't think of a better way to end this podcast with that advice. Thank you for listening, everyone, to this very special episode of the podcast.
Very
Black
special.
Letter. As always, you can find us on Mondays on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, and Google Play. You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at EDF Podcast. You can follow us on Twitch at EDF_podcast. Thanks for listening. I hope you listen to our next episode after this one.
It's either gonna go up or down.
Yep.
Mine's going up.
Yes. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.